Hello, folks. Good evening. Welcome to Professional Ethics, to the first session. We're going to start, okay? Let me know if everybody can hear me, please. Okay, folks, here as you can appreciate on the screen, we got a course descriptor regarding to the course program that says that professional ethics is a course aimed at providing humanistic training to students enrolled in the bachelor's degree in English language with an emphasis on education. And let me tell you, folks, that through this course, it is expected that tutor require the necessary tools to act with integrity when facing the diverse challenges that may arise in the exercise of their professional duties. The purpose of this course, folks, is to promote the practice of values in professional communication, including respect for diverse linguistic cultures, transparency, in the presentation of information, accountability, and the ethical of use of linguistic resources, okay? Particularly proper citation in academic text and research. Remember that at the end of your major, you will be defending and presenting your research paper where you have to respect the in-text citations because part of the investigation that you're gonna do, you will include some authors' opinions, right? That you have to make in-text citations. So let's move on to the generalities of the course, folks. And I know that this is not new for you. You know how the evaluation system works. In Sunday courses, we got the first midterm and the final evaluation. For the first one, folks, we got a 5% for attendance and participation. Let me tell you that in every virtual session, we will be having a speaking section, okay? So in that speaking section, those participants, those students who participate, they are going to take their names are going to be written in a notebook, okay? Because I have my register, my personal register here, to at the end give the 5% of that, okay? Uh, for example, if in that case that probably you're presenting some issues and it's gonna be impossible for you to be connected in the session, so you have to review the video, okay? You have to review the speaking session, and then you have to record yourself. What do you think about those questions in the speaking session? Then send the audio to the WhatsApp group to be added in the participation, okay? So then, folks, we got the 50%. This 50% can be quizzes, investigation, written tasks, or probably some oral presentation that you will be doing in the previous sessions, okay? And then we got the first midterm exam on March 1st, okay? So take notes of that. And then we continue with the final evaluation. We got the 5%, the same in the same way. We got the 55% about quizzes, investigation, written task, and oral presentation. And then we got the 30%. The final written exam, it's gonna be on April the 19th, okay? Then we got the 60% plus the 40% in the first midterm. We got a totally of 100%. That's it's the total scores of the course, okay? Everything's clear so far, right? Okay, let's move on. Let's move on here with some of the contribution to the professional profile, folks. This one are regarding to the course program, ethical principles for responsible decision making that respect the rights and needs for others. Also, we have the promotion of inclusive and equitable educational environments. Then we got the threatening of academic integrity to prevent plagiarisms, thereby fostering critical thinking and originality. Also, we have respect for cultural and linguistic. Let me see this. Okay, and respect for cultural and linguistic diversity, promoting inclusive teaching that acknowledges multiple perspectives and contexts. Okay. As I said before, those are some contribution to the professional profile regarding to the course program. So the objective that we got for this session, folks, are to define the concept of ethics and distinguish it from morality and values using clear examples, highlight the importance of ethical behavior in personal and professional contexts, and identify ethical issues in simple situations or dilemmas and provide a reflective response. So we're gonna start with the speaking session, folks. Don't forget, if you're gonna give your opinion, don't forget to say your name at the beginning. Let's see the first question, and it says that when you hear the word ethics, what is the first idea that comes to your mind? Yes, Genesis, go ahead.
Um, Hello, teacher. Well,
Yes.
when I hear the word ethics, for me, is the moral principles that help us um, as an individual to behave in the society.
Okay, that's very good. Very good. Let's move on to next question, folks. Let's see. Do you think ethics is more important in personal life or professional life? Why? What do you think, folks? Another volunteer for that? Okay, Otoniel, go ahead.
Okay, good evening.
Evening.
Well, the ethics is important in the personal life because I think is the is the is the forms the way you demonstrate your values, uh, the professional values in the society.
Yes, that's right, right? It's equally important in both personal and professional life, right? So remember that in professional life, it builds trust and respect, right? And in professional life, it ensures fairness and integrity in decision that probably can affect others. Very good, Toniel. Let's move on to the third question. Can a person be successful without being ethical? What do you think? You can raise your hand to take your note to your name, right? Okay, Jocelyn Gomez, go ahead.
Good evening. Uh,
Evening.
I think yes, because a person can be successful, um, but not in a good way. I think because if you don't have like ethics, you can be like you don't got the idea that you need to understand it, and I think you can because I have an example for that.
Yeah.
Uh, in that case, I will say I heard from one teacher because right now
Mhm.
I'm a teacher in English. So that person expressed like, if I don't like, if I didn't like one student, I don't want to pass it the classes. I don't know if you understand that. What can I explain you?
Yeah.
But it was like not professionalism. I think
Yeah.
she doesn't have like ethics. I think and you can be successful if you don't have that.
Yeah, okay, yeah, good, good. Let's move on to the question number 4. Who has influenced your sense of right and wrong the most? Hello, do we have any volunteer? Let me see how many students we got here. 17. Patricia Perez, go ahead.
Hello, good afternoon. Well, personal speaking, I could say that when it comes to the sense of right and wrong, for me, it's my mom. That's someone that I look up, and she has told me a lot of values to apply it even in life, personal life, or
Yeah,
professional path. So that's what I can say for this sense of right and wrong.
that's good. That's good. Okay. Let's see the question number 6. Sorry, 5. Is it always easy to do the right thing? Why or why not? Do we have any volunteer? Remember, folks, I said at the beginning, remember, folks, that at the end, the participation is gonna be taken in this session, the speaking session. Okay, Fernando Munguia, go ahead.
Well, okay, well, in my opinion, is okay. Is the about the professional is very the in a student. What is the technique? The thing, the group of back. Okay, about the learning.
Fernando, about the learning what?
Okay, bueno, en el learning, digamos, de reading and writing, listening, speaking, the grammar, the understand a lot of things, digamos, in the class, okay, the one profession, the understand the different thing, also what is the difficult, que, okay, serious problem to the students, porque, okay, okay, in other, okay, do exercise in the section is complicated. Yes, I don't have idea.
I don't know if you're having some internet connection issues, but I couldn't hear you well. Okay, but thank you for participating, Fernando. Do we have another volunteer for the same questions? Okay, go ahead, Archimedes.
I have an. Oh,
No, la
Hello.
sí, ahorita me
Okay,
Three of you
conecté.
raised your hand. Okay, Ricardo, go ahead.
Hello, teacher. Most of the cases are pretty easy to follow that kind of rules because it's obviously the moral correct way. Because some of the cases there are some issues about some people that can hurt your career or something like that, and some of that cases you used to make some bad decisions and maybe put yourself in danger about the work that you are doing at that moment, I think.
Yeah, because you're going against the crowd, right? Or facing discomfort on others. Yeah, good. Let's see next question, folks. Do you think ethical behavior is the same in all cultures? What do you think, folks? Archimedes, go ahead.
Okay, thank you, teacher. I think, in my opinion, is not the same because some construction of the values of the ideas in the society depend of the environmental or the religion, depend on the political situation, depend on the
Mm-hmm.
different factors. So for this reason, the ethical behaviors is not the same in all cultures. A simple example is the time of you enter in your work. For example, when you are a punctual person, is a good behaviors in other country, but in Nicaragua, for example, the people say all the time the Nica hours, but the Nica times. But this, in my opinion, is not correct because when you receive a salary, you need to your behavior need to respond like this salary or the rules in that work, in my opinion.
Okay, thank you very much, Archimedes. Let's go with Kaylin Torres. You got some idea about the same question? Or Cindy Prado? Just confirm your name when you start talking.
Can you hear me?
Yes. Cindy,
Yes.
right?
Cindy, right. Um, so I don't think that ethical behavior is the same in all cultures because there's something called standards for conduct that it's technically when a person is not murdered, doesn't do any kind of assault or fraud. So in some countries, that's kind of normalized. For example, in USA, you might see some states where people might be fraudulent with some kind of areas. So I don't think it's the same because ethical behavior includes compassion, honesty, and loyalty, and
Yeah.
those are kind of values that we are losing nowadays.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you. Let's see next question. Should professionals be ethical even outside their workplace? Workplace, what do you think, folks? So quickly, folks, because we need to advance, we need to continue. We got a lot of things to do today. Okay, let's move on to next question. Let's see. Is it acceptable to break ethical rules if no one is harmed? What do you think? No more participations? Let's move on to the next one. If a teacher or professional lies to help someone, is it ethical? Marcos, go ahead.
Hi, well, in the question 8 and the 9, I think that depends on the person because, for example, I don't know what is the reason that the teacher is lying, but says to help someone. So I would say like it's not ethical, but as a person, you are like a good person. You're trying to help. And for the question number 8, I think depends on the person because, for example, in many countries, there is not a law for like give like kind of like I don't remember right now the word, but give like appeals for die if a person has cancer or another illness. So maybe it's like if you break that rule, it's not ethical, but depend of the person because at the end, in many countries, that it's not allowed. But the person is suffer.
Yeah, that depends on the kind of ethics that we got. Because remember that every kind of ethical, we got some principles, right? Some of them we have to be respectful for that. Like, for example, when we talk about medical ethics, there are some principles that can be respect, okay? So let's move on to question number 10. Is it possible to follow the law and still act unethically? Or what about this question? What would you do if being honest could cause you a problem? Have you experienced that?
Teacher?
Yes, Genesis, go ahead.
Okay, for the answer of question number 10, I would say that unfortunately sometimes it's not possible because sometimes we need to break the rule without knowing that we are breaking the rule. And that's all.
Okay, thank you. Let's see the last question. Let's see the last question for the speaking section. Should personal values influence professional decisions? Okay, Jocelyn, go ahead.
Okay. Last one, right?
Yes.
Okay. Should personal values influence professional decision? I think yes. Because personal values, I think, should influence professional decisions. Because they guide our behavior and help us act with integrity. But
Yeah.
however, it's important to balance personal values with professional, professional rules and responsibilities, I think.
Yeah, that's good.
Also, I have the question 11, but you don't want, I don't know if you want to hear
Mm-hmm.
my answer.
Yeah, go
So,
ahead.
okay, so what would you do if being honest could cause you a problem? So, in my case, I would try to be honest in a respectful and responsible way, even
Mm-hmm.
if even if honesty causes a problem. I believe it's better in the long term because if build trust and integrity, as I said, I will
Yeah.
also look for a solution that avoids harming others.
Okay, thank you very much, Jocelyn. Now let's move on, folks. Here, folks, we got some of the keywords that you were mentioning in the first question regarding to what ethic is. So we got values, right? When we talk about ethics, we talk about values, we talk about integrity, as Jocelyn mentioned. We talk about moral principles. We got many principles, many core principles in ethics. We got honesty, rights, responsibility, etc., etc. Okay. So let's move on to this one that I would like to explain to you folks. We got the human values, folks. So as a key principle, folks, we got some principles, key principles that compose the foundation values, like the innate dignity of human life. So what does it mean with this, folks? That everybody has the right of living, right? So every human deserves it simply for existing. Okay. Then we got the respect and consideration for the other, the interconnection between humankind and the environment. Then we got the importance of integrity and service, an attitude on non-violence. What does it mean, this, folks? That you or everybody, every human being has to promote resolving conflicts peacefully, okay? And also we got individual and collective quest for peace and happiness. Those are some of the key principles that compose the foundations of human values. Inside of the values and sub-values love, we can find love, truth, right conduct, peace, and violence, right? So what do you understand by morals, values, and ethics, folks? Do you think that we have any differences or relations? Or I'm going to be more direct with the question. What is good and evil for you? What is good and what is evil? Or I don't know if you understand by what is wrong and what is right. So let me tell you, folks, that according to the Webster's New World Dictionary, mentions that the term good is having the proper qualities and beneficials, and for the term evil are morally bad or wrong. So we got another definitions, for example, given by the American Heritage Dictionary of the English language, says that the moral and ethical, let's see here. So moral and ethicals can be defined like this. Moral, it's concerned with the judgment of the goodness or badness of human action and character pertaining to the discernment or good and evil. And about ethic says that ethic is a group of moral principles or set of values, something that you were mentioning at the beginning, okay? So now I ask you, do we have any differences between morally and ethics? At a certain point, folks, we got some differences, right? Because morality, it's more general and prescriptive based on customs and traditions. And ethic is more specific and descriptive, and it is a critical reflection on morals. We also can say that morality is more concerned with the results of wrong action when done, and ethics is more concerned with the results of a right action when not done. What about professional ethics? Now that you have some knowledge about what ethic is, so we can say, folks, that professional ethic is the activity mainly aimed at understanding the moral values, okay, that ought to guide it to the profession in practice. And we can also say, folks, that professional ethics is defined by the codes and standards of conduct endorsed by professional societies with respect to the particular set of beliefs, attitude, and habits. Okay. And inside of the types of ethics, as some of you were mentioning, so we got personal ethics, medical ethics, right? We got business ethics, professional and legal ethics, etc. When we talk about personal ethics, folks, this is concerned with the rules by which an individual lives his or her personal life, right? And so on. So you got more deeply information about this one on the platform, folks, so that you can read there. And let's see about dilemmas. What do you understand by dilemmas, folks? How would you describe dilemmas?
Well, in my opinion, a dilemma is a thinking and you have in your mind and you need to take a decide of that idea. Uh, Maybe I I think is well, let me try to explain.
Okay.
I need to put it order in my ideas. Well, dilemma is a specific idea in your mind or decision you need to, or when you need to take a decision and you have this and you are confused and you need to take a option and maybe your values permits to take a decision.
Yeah, that's right. We can also say, folks, that dilemmas or moral dilemmas are situations, right, in which two or more moral obligations, they can be duties, rights, guilt, or ideas, come into conflict with each other, right? So some of the causes that we got about moral dilemmas, folks, we can find problem of vagueness. So why problems of vagueness? What do you understand by vagueness? We can say, folks, that vague means not clearly expressed or perceived, not as specific or exact, right? We can also find as a cause problem of conflicting reasons, where this is a situation where two or more moral problems conflict in each other, each of each of which seems to be correct. We can also find a problem of disagreements, okay? So regarding to the history, folks, of the ethics, we can find that ethics in relation to other studies ethics is closely related to psychology, anthropology, sociology, economics, political science, and law. Okay, we got some relation of this one. Remember that every profession, we got some conduct of standards of or core principles for each one, right? Integrity. What do you understand by integrity, folks? Do you think that integrity is unit of thought, honesty, or even open-mindedness? What do you think?
Okay, I think that integrity is the way that you feel in yourself or the way that you consider yourself um any area, I think.
Okay, good, good. Thank you. Okay, here, folks, we got this one as the foundation and evolution of the moral thought. Okay, we can say that ethics or moral philosophy is the systematic study of what is morally right or wrong. Okay, and about the origins and nature of ethics. The ethics as moral philosophy is the discipline, right? It's the discipline that study the nature of values and standards for judging human actions, and about the roots in biological altruisms. We got that morality emerged from kin selection and reciprocity observed in social animals. This is some of the key points that we can take into account, folks, about the evolution of moral thought. So in the platform, you can find it deeply information about this one, okay? So let's continue with this, folks. As a closing questions, In your own words, explain what do ethics, moral, and values stand for. So quickly, you got 30 minutes. 30 seconds. Just one volunteer to explain this.
Hi, teacher.
Yes.
Marcos Montoya. So, in my own words, moral will be the values as a person that you recognize that you have, and ethics will depend on your work or your professional career because there are different rules for every aspect or every profession.
Okay. Thank you very much, Marcos. So let's see this, folks. So for the formative task, folks, this is for participation for the next session, okay? We got the types of values. You have to research about values related to right conduct, values related to peace, values related to trust, values related to love, and values related to nonviolence. Please be ready with this one because the participation is gonna be focused on this and the evolution of human values, okay? You can take a screenshot of this one, or you can see on the platform with a video, okay? So folks, this has been all for this session. If you got some questions, you can ask now, or if everything's clear, see you next session, okay? Okay, that means that nobody has any question, folks. Okay, as I said before, see you next session. Bye-bye, folks.
See you, teacher.
See you. Take care.
Bye,
Have a good
teacher.
night.
Good night.
Bye.
See you, teacher.
See you. Good evening.
See ya, see ya.